Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Gamingnight. Today I'm going to be talking about Dragon Castle. I'm going to go over what it's like and all that good stuff, so let's get right down to it. So Dragon Castle is, I believe, put out by Cool Mini or not, published by Horrible Games, I believe is what that's called, the company's called. I could be mistaken. It is essentially like a Mahjong for the PC. So those of you that play the PC version of Mahjong, the Solitaire, will have a general idea of how this is. I don't know if it's how the collecting tiles rules are exactly like Mahjong. I think they made a few changes. I'm not too sure because it's been so long since I played Mahjong. But they added some elements that make it differently. So it goes from 2 to 4 players. You can't play this Solitaire. And plus, it doesn't have all the Mahjong tiles. There's only, I think, 6 different types of tiles in this one. Yeah, 6 different types. And each player is going to get one of these player boards to put their tiles that they collect and put their shrines here to store until they use them. And I'll go into that in a minute here. Then you got the playing board, and these all vary in number of players you have. So this is a 4-player board, a 3-player board, another 4-player board, and then of course the 2-player board. I've only played this as a 2-player game so far, so this is going to be my opinion based on how a 2-player game works. But essentially, with more players, it's going to get a little bit more complicated and more strategic. But it works cool as a 2-player game. So you're going to lay all the tiles, let's say 3 first, and that means you're going to be putting stack 3 tiles on top of each other, face up. So on each one of these, so if you're playing 2 players or whatever, you can set it up by yourself. Or they recommend each player put the pieces down so that it's completely random and not like one person just favoring where they're going. So you'll fill up all the 3s, then you'll fill up all the 2s, and then finally the single tiles are going to just go in those spots. So when it's done, it's going to look what this looks like right here. And you'll have different actions. There's 3 different actions you can take in the very beginning of the game, and then when you get down to the nitty gritty end of the game, there's a 4th action that you can do. So for the main actions are just to take a single tile that has to be free by the long edges, nothing else blocking it, and it has to be on the very topmost tile. So in the beginning of the game, you can only take from the 3s here if you're the first player, because there's nothing that's open. So for the first player, they have a little bit less limited tiles to start with. So the second player will have a little bit more leeway. So you can take a single tile, and then you can take a shrine as one action. And these are to use to in-game scoring things. I'll explain that in a little bit. Another action is you can take a single tile from the top here. So for example, if you took this tile here, and you found a matching tile somewhere else on the board, whether it's here or on the outer edges here, you could take those 2 and put them on your board as a matching set. So they have to be exactly matching set to do that action. Another action you can do is take a tile from here that's free and discard it and remove it and put it on the side of your board, and basically prevent someone else from taking your tile, from taking the tile. So it's kind of and then you get 1 victory point for doing it. But that's probably your last option, or if you see someone that's going to score a lot of points, you can hose them that way. That usually doesn't seem to be an option that you do too much, because it's only worth 1 victory point. So what you're trying to do is, if I can try to show you somehow, is you're going to be collecting these tiles to form a kind of like if you're Connect 4 or Bust the Move or whatever, you want to get at least 4 tiles connected horizontally or vertically, not diagonally. And as soon as they do connect, you're going to score points based on the different so if you get, so for example, if C4 hits this, how they are, as soon as you get that configuration, or 4 touching like that, or however, in a straight line, you can already have 4 in a straight line. As soon as you get 4, you have to immediately score it. So you ideally want to strategically place these so you can get more than just 4. So you want to get like the higher, like 6 and 7. They're hard to do because the problem is when you're laying these tiles on the board, if they don't get cleared, you can't put any tiles on top of them until they're scored. And they show different types of configurations, like here. So right here you wouldn't score it 1, 2, 3 because you only have 3. You have 1, 2, 3. But if you put one here, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this one, in this case, it doesn't matter if it's higher or lower. This one you got, so this one will be scoring 4 because 1, 2, 3, 4. And then of course they'd flip, and then you could, and once they're flipped, the ones you just scored, you can put a tower, a little shrine on it if you have a shrine. And the reason for that is a level 3 tower at the end of the game with one of these on it is worth 3 points. So, but you only get those when you take a single tile and take a shrine, unless it's the one you originally started with in the beginning of the game. So taking single tiles just to get shrines to get in-game scoring is sometimes beneficial. And now it's also a thing about the 4th action, and that's when it's towards the end of the game when you have nothing left but level 1s. You could take, there's tiles that go here on the stacked here and there and there, and as soon as one person takes a tile here, nothing happens. But as soon as another person takes a tile and it clears it to where the exclamation point is, it goes to the end game scoring type where it'll go until it gets back, I think, to the player on the left of the starting player. The starting player will get this little starting player card here. So, and you basically can only stack your tiles up to 3 on your board. So, and you got a limited amount of space to work with. So there's ways to get stuff off your board and stuff to remove tiles and things like that. Because you can always discard a face-up tile from your board to activate these special powers, or you can discard a shrine. So there's ways to get rid of your tiles that are on your board. So I will show you some of these cards here. So right here is an example of a special power. You discard a shrine or a face-up tile on your board, and this lets you discard any. You basically can get rid of a tile. It doesn't count as a turn, so you can clear a tile that's blocking when you want to take, and then do that. So that basically clears a tile. And then there's, where are they at? They got all these different ways of in-game scoring. Yeah, they have different ways you can score at the end of the game. Trying to figure out where they're at. I got them all mixed up right now. At least show you a simple one. Where are you? Ah, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Ah. So like that, basically we'll say if you have the dragon symbol face up and a shrine at the on one of the next to it, you'll get 1 victory point at the end of the game for each one you do that. But you can't put you have to have an individual dragon tile. You can't get another tile adjacent to that dragon and kind of put another one. You basically have to have another dragon tile somewhere on the board. So that prevents you from kind of. And there's the 6 different shapes. They got the dragon tiles, I believe this is the merchant. The bamboo. The wind. I believe this is the air, wind and water, maybe. And swords. So let me make sure that's. I know there's 6 of them. Okay, you got merchants, soldiers, farmers, seasons, winds, and dragons. Yeah, so season, winds, and dragons. So there's 6 different colors. And like I said, when you get 4 of the same color or more, you complete that set. But like I said, it has to be, as soon as it connects, 4 pieces connect, they get flipped. So you can't just say, okay, I got 4 now, I'm going to wait until I put a 5th one there. No, it's as soon as 4 of a straight line or horizontally are connected, it scores. So that's why I said placing your tiles is essentially important on your board, so you don't hose yourself, but you also get lots of scoring opportunities. And the game's got a lot of replayability just based on the different powers in the game. There's different board setups you can play with once you get comfortable playing with the main setup. They got little other variations for those setups to play. So there's a lot of replayability with that. And then, like I said, you'll never see the two, the power and the in-game scoring show up in the same game, because there's 10 of each. So I think it's like over 100 different combinations of possibilities, because you got 10 and 10. So they're never gonna repeat that likely, unless you get really bad at shuffling and get the same ones, or you select them. But yeah, this game is really cool. Me and my fiance enjoyed it. It's a light game, but it's got some strategies to it. So it's a family weight game, but it's got some good strategies to it. So I think it's got legs, and I think those that are into family weight games or like strategy, or even like Mahjong is going to probably like this. So once again, thanks for watching, and sorry if I rambled on too much.